Texas lawmakers made a major move to bolster our state's water infrastructure. Senate Bill 7 could pour $1 billion a year for the next 20 years into projects to shore up the state's water supply. Still, some experts and advocates say more needs to be done to address long-term water shortages in Texas. For Insight, we're joined now by Jeremy Mazur with Texas 2036. He's the Director of Infrastructure and Natural Resources Policy. Welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me back, Josh.
So Texas voters still need to approve this plan in a constitutional amendment election. What do Texans need to know about the plan? What will it actually do?
What this plan does, and it's in House Joint Resolution 7, it proposes to dedicate $1 billion in sales tax revenues towards the Texas Water Fund over the next 20 years. And this $1 billion per year, it'll amount to like $20 billion over 20 years, can be used for a wide variety of water infrastructure projects, such as fixing aging, deteriorating systems or expanding our water supply for our drought-prone state.
So supporters of the legislation cited a report by Texas 2036 that looked into the impact of water shortages. What are the key findings of that report?
What we find is that if Texas doesn't have enough water, or if we continue to suffer from the problems associated with aging, deteriorating drinking water and wastewater systems, we're looking at a multi-billion-dollar hit to the state's economy. We estimate at Texas 2036 by as soon as 2050, we're looking at $165 billion per year in lost GDP and economic damages due to having insufficient water infrastructure.
Your report looked closer at how much funding it would take to fully address the state's water shortfall. Does this legislation do enough, you think?
The legislature has done a fantastic job in the 2025 session in addressing the state's water infrastructure challenges. They've done two things here. The first, as we've talked about, is set up this dedicated funding stream for 20 years to address our water infrastructure needs. But the second thing is that the legislature is putting up a $2.5 billion down payment towards our Texas water funds. And so the legislature will be making money available effective September 1st of this year to go out into the field and help us work towards fixing our water infrastructure problems.
So the legislature has taken the first step, but now it's going to go to voters. What's the outlook there?
Yeah, that's the thing here. It's a House Joint Resolution. It proposes to amend the Texas Constitution, and Texas voters will have a say this November. What we find at Texas 2036 is that water, in political terms, is a winner. When we had Proposition 6 in 2023 that proposed to create the Texas Water Fund, 77% of voters supported that. Our polling shows that there are strong majorities between both Republicans and Democrats that are overwhelmingly supportive of state investment in water infrastructure. So we're optimistic of what this proposition will be, what the outcome of this proposition will be in November.
All right, Jeremy Mazur with Texas 2036. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
The time for consideration of Senate bills on second reading on the supplemental daily House calendar has done expired.
Legislation to modernize the way Texas investigates death stalled at the Capitol, but find out how it's still making an impact even without becoming law. Plans to prevent vehicle crashes into medical facilities failed to pass this session. Our investigators examined the lobbying effort that worked to block the bill.